Have you ever felt that someone dislikes you, but you just can't put your finger on it? The truth might be hiding in plain sight, wrapped up in subtle gestures and words that are easy to miss. In this video, we'll uncover the 7 subtle signs that someone dislikes you but is masking it. These signs may be quiet, but when you know what to look for, they can reveal much more than you realize. From their shifting tone of voice to how they behave around you in group settings, there are hidden cues everywhere. But here's the key. Don't let this knowledge stir anxiety. Stoicism teaches us how to remain calm, centered, and wise in the face of any challenge, including navigating difficult relationships. Once you spot the signs, you'll know how to respond without losing your cool. So, let's dive into the 7 signs and explore how Stoic wisdom can help you deal with them gracefully. The Stoics taught that other people's opinions of us are beyond our control. Whether someone dislikes you or not is something you cannot change. What you can control, however, is your response and your internal peace. The Stoic mindset reminds us that our emotional well-being isn't dependent on external approval, but on how we choose to react. Marcus Aurelius emphasized this in his Meditations, saying, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Similarly, Epictetus taught that it's not what happens to us, but how we react to it that defines us. The opinions, judgments, or dislike from others are simply events outside of our control, much like the weather. Recognizing when someone dislikes you doesn't mean you should react emotionally or defensively. Instead, the Stoic approach encourages observing the situation with a calm and detached mind. This allows you to remain in control of your emotions and actions, no matter what others may think or feel. By staying composed, you preserve your inner peace. A backhanded compliment is a subtle way someone may express hidden dislike, often disguised as praise but carrying a hidden insult. It's when a compliment comes with an undercurrent of negativity, like someone saying, "You're really smart," for someone who didn't go to college. On the surface, it might seem like praise, but underneath, there's a subtle jab meant to undermine or belittle you. Stoicism teaches us to observe these moments without becoming reactive. Instead of letting a backhanded compliment spark anger or hurt, a Stoic acknowledges it for what it is, just words. Marcus Aurelius would remind us, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. A Stoic mindset allows you to recognize the hidden intent behind such remarks, but not to engage emotionally. You don't need to defend yourself, nor should you allow the comment to disturb your inner peace. Instead, see the remark as an opportunity to practice emotional detachment and resilience. By doing so, you remain in control of your response, not letting someone else's negativity disrupt your calm. Subtle exclusion is one of the quietest ways someone can show dislike, and it can be more hurtful than direct confrontation. It might look like being the only one not invited to a gathering, or finding out about plans you were accidentally left out of. Perhaps you've experienced the sting of being left out of a group message or not being invited to a social event, even though everyone else was included. In such moments, it's easy to feel hurt or devalued, but the Stoic mindset teaches us not to take exclusion personally. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. A Stoic understands that being left out is a reflection of the other person's intentions or mindset, not of your own worth or value. Instead of getting wrapped up in feelings of rejection, a Stoic focuses on maintaining inner peace. They remind themselves that their value is intrinsic and not dependent on external validation or being included in every social situation. By keeping a calm and detached perspective, you can rise above the feeling of exclusion, knowing that your worth isn't determined by others' behavior or choices. Short, dismissive responses are often a clear signal of hidden resentment or dislike. You might find yourself trying to engage in conversation only to be met with one-word answers like, "Yeah, sure," or "fine," without any effort to continue the discussion. It feels like they're shutting down the conversation, leaving you wondering if something is wrong. Maybe you've had the experience of asking someone about their day, only to get a vague, indifferent reply like, "It was fine," or "nothing much." It's not always what they say, but how they say it, cold and distant, as if they're not interested in connecting with you. These kinds of responses can leave you feeling ignored or dismissed, but a Stoic wouldn't let such reactions affect their peace of mind. As Marcus Aurelius emphasized, the opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them knows anything about the subject. Similarly, a Stoic recognizes that someone's lack of enthusiasm or dismissive responses reflect their mood or perspective, not yours. Rather than chasing after their approval or letting their coldness dictate your mood, observe their behavior calmly. Take note of their dismissiveness, but don't let it undermine your emotional stability. You control your response, not how they choose to engage with you. Avoiding eye contact can be a significant indicator of discomfort or even dislike. When someone consistently looks away or seems distracted while you're speaking, it often suggests they are uneasy about the interaction or the feelings they harbor. You might find yourself in a conversation where you're pouring your heart out or sharing an exciting story, only to notice their gaze wandering elsewhere, as if they'd rather be anywhere but there. Imagine a scenario where you're trying to connect with someone, but every time you make a point, they avert their eyes or shift their focus to their phone or the room around them. This behavior can feel hurtful, as if they're rejecting your presence or minimizing what you have to say. However, a Stoic understands that this avoidance isn't necessarily a reflection of your worth. It's essential to recognize that their discomfort is more about them than it is about you. As Epictetus advised, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Instead of interpreting their lack of eye contact as a personal failure, see it for what it is, a sign of the other person's struggle with their feelings. Don't take their avoidance personally. Instead, focus on what you can control, your reaction and your inner peace. Maintain your composure and remember that their behavior does not diminish your value. Fake smiles and forced politeness often serve as a mask for true feelings, revealing underlying dislike or discomfort. When someone greets you with a smile that doesn't quite reach their eyes, or when their politeness feels more like a performance than genuine kindness, it can be a telltale sign that something isn't right. You might recall a time when someone greeted you enthusiastically, but their expression felt hollow, as if they were simply going through the motions. Imagine a situation where you walk into a room and someone beams at you with a smile that seems rehearsed, their voice overly cheerful yet lacking warmth. It feels disingenuous, and you can't shake the feeling that there's a deeper truth beneath the surface. For a Stoic, these forced gestures are observed with clarity rather than reaction. Instead of getting caught up in feelings of hurt or confusion, the Stoic remains centered, recognizing that someone's fake politeness reflects their inner turmoil rather than any failure on your part. Don't let these insincere interactions deceive you. While it's easy to feel unsettled by the disconnect between words and emotions, the Stoic approach encourages you to observe without judgment. Stay emotionally grounded, focusing on your own responses and maintaining your inner peace, rather than getting drawn into the drama of someone else's facade. Subtle sarcasm or passive-aggressive comments can often serve as indicators of hidden dislike. When someone uses sarcasm, they may be attempting to mask negative feelings or frustrations under a veil of humor. For instance, imagine a scenario where a colleague quips, "Oh, I guess you're too busy to hang out with us now, huh?" The remark might sound light-hearted, but it carries an undercurrent of resentment that can leave you feeling uneasy. In moments like this, it's important to recognize that sarcasm often reveals more about the speaker than the situation. They may be projecting their frustrations or insecurities, and this kind of communication can create tension without addressing the real issues at hand. A Stoic approaches these interactions with clarity. Rather than becoming defensive or feeling hurt, the Stoic acknowledges the sarcasm for what it truly is, an expression of unspoken frustration. Instead of engaging in emotional reactions, they maintain a level of detachment, understanding that the comment reflects the speaker's state of mind. Letting sarcasm slide can be liberating. By not allowing it to get under your skin, you protect your inner peace and avoid unnecessary conflict. Remember, the Stoic way is about focusing on what you can control, your reactions and responses, while accepting that others' feelings and comments are often beyond your influence. Non-verbal cues can often reveal hidden dislike in ways that words may not. For instance, crossed arms, turning away, or creating physical distance during a conversation are strong indicators that someone might be uncomfortable or harboring negative feelings. Imagine a situation where you're speaking to a colleague and they lean back in their chair, arms crossed tightly, avoiding eye contact. Their body language sends a clear message of disconnection and resistance. In these moments, it's easy to feel disheartened or take such behaviors personally. However, a Stoic approach allows for a different perspective. Instead of letting these subtle signals disrupt your emotional state, a Stoic maintains composure and observes the situation objectively. They understand that the other person's body language reflects their own feelings or insecurities rather than a direct commentary on you. Recognizing non-verbal cues is important, but it's essential not to let them dictate your mood or sense of self-worth. By remaining centered, you can navigate these interactions without falling prey to emotional distress. Remember, the Stoic wisdom encourages us to focus on our internal responses rather than external perceptions. So, while non-verbal cues can indeed speak volumes, maintaining your inner peace should always take precedence. Now that you know these 7 signs, you may start seeing them in your daily interactions. But how will you respond? It's easy to let feelings of discomfort or insecurity creep in, especially when we sense someone's dislike. The Stoic response, however, is simple. Observe without reacting. People's dislike or discomfort is out of your control, but your inner calm is not. Consider this. Every time you encounter one of these signs, pause and take a breath. Instead of jumping to conclusions or letting emotions dictate your reactions, remind yourself that these behaviors reflect the other person's state of mind, not your worth. Stoic philosophy teaches us that we can't control others' feelings toward us, but we can control our response. By focusing on your thoughts and actions, you empower yourself to remain grounded and unaffected by external turmoil. Final thought. Embrace these moments as opportunities for growth and self-awareness. Each interaction can serve as a lesson in resilience and emotional intelligence. You have the power to navigate these complexities with grace and wisdom. If you found these insights helpful, subscribe for more Stoic wisdom to navigate life's challenges with strength and clarity. Together, we can cultivate a mindset that thrives amidst adversity, finding peace even when faced with the subtle signs of dislike.